Hello, Gatalis again. A long time since I've talked to you. Um, yeah, I think that's interesting. And first of all, let me just say more power to you. And, I want to give my feedback, but I totally approve of you spreading the information and that you think interesting. And, um, and I believe there are patterns to the universe. So I just want to present this because, you know, my view doesn't get to be as fantastic. It wouldn't make as good of a movie, maybe, or at least the special effects wouldn't be as good. Um, but I know some amazing things turn out to be real, right? But when it comes to increased sensitivity and deja vu in the sense that you're talking about, like powers, because there is something called deja vu. It's an interesting phenomenon, and what its relationship is to reality is, I think, an interesting question. But in the sense you're talking about that, maybe like in 2012, or thinking of McKenna or anybody as I don't know. To me, you could call someone like that a shaman if you want, but it's sort of a metaphor. Jim Morrison, it's a shaman, but it's in the end, it's just a job. Got to 9 to 5. You can't. I don't want to take it too seriously. Um, because I believe, well, there's a Nietzschean thing. You like Nietzsche. You have to face this life with laughter. When you're willing to laugh at yourself, sometimes it changes what you end up wanting to think. But I guess what I want to say is that I think the world is just as amazing as all of that stuff. If wow, what if everybody started having these amazingly vivid deja vus? How amazing that would be! I would think that was amazing. I love that kind of thing when you write about it in fiction, right? Um, but I don't in my conception of my actual life. I don't need that kind of thing. That's what it comes down to. Um, if someone proved that kind of stuff, fine. But I don't need it to, and I don't mean I don't need to feel wonder. No, I mean I want to feel this sense of wonder. But I don't need to have ESP. To me, it's like, are we clairvoyant? I studied pretty closely the physics, just how the exchange works, not like from the scientist's point of view, but how light is and the quantum mechanical and what the entanglement it has or the disentanglement or whichever it is with your retina and the way it goes through and what a neural network is like and how computational and processing and information processing principles work. And it's much more amazing than whatever the word clairvoyant was ever supposed to mean. It's like, wow. And nobody can really say why it's all even happening or it's perceived the way we see it. It's amazing. I don't need anything that would be considered uh, an extra power than what I have, other than to continue to evolve, right, and expand my powers. That I need. In which case, that's why, as I say, more power to you. Go ahead. Maybe we have, I believe we're growing new senses, right? We're evolving. So we're growing new senses, and there's ones that are half formed, ones that are 2/3 formed, and ones that are 1/3 formed, or whatever they happen to be. Maybe we have one 9/10 formed, and we're about to have a third eye that we open, right? Like wings, the first, somewhere in the evolution of the bird, is incidentally the first bird to achieve a sustained free flight, right? First one to have free flight. And maybe that's one of us, with whatever the brain has in store. But, and I'm open to that. That's part of science. But if we don't get that, or I don't get to see it, I'm just as amazed by what we have. I mean, I basically think that the way our sense organs work count as amazing and wondrous enough. Um, Literally, like, you can stand in awe. How can that work? How can a chemical get this stuff all in? And it's a lot to really comprehend. Even the parts we know, and there's more, requires that sort of a letting go and just being like, I'm in awe. Like people often can be about these forces of nature when they believe there's I don't know, because I don't want to criticize the way you're looking at stuff, but sometimes people look for a pure kind of pattern, or some special answer. It's like, if I am hesitant to assume that 2012 is significant, or McKenna's patterns really play out. I'd want to see a lot more science on something like that. And but to me, the difference is not if someone believes them, but rather how they believe them, and even how they believe they might come about. Like, is it that there's a metaphysical power? Or is it that, hey, there's other energy fields besides electromagnetic energy? We could have eyes that are just finally evolving to open and look at that energy. Why not? It happened before. So that, to me, is a material way to go about it. And I do believe it's important that when everybody, when someone sees these patterns, or like the five solids, or any of these things throughout history that are so enchanting, and they're always, like 100% of the times, almost. I guess that's the ones I like, but they're related to really interesting patterns, things that are from nature in some sense. There's never just this purity, or there's going to be the exact number of planets as there are the solids, just so that it all works out. It's not like that. Nature loves to use a pattern and then be a little sloppy, though, and be unpredictable and non-deterministic and multivariant, and sort of like always a step ahead of everyone, even if that means being a step behind. Anyway, cheers.